We're always in and out of the rooms, checking on units throughout the building and stuff, so.
In the midst of this, it's hard to believe the calendar's turning to September soon. Glenn Schuck, 1010 wins, 92.3 FM. Here are 56 and 5th.
I tell you what, those cooler temperatures will be nice. Well, do the thing, and I'll take care of you. Prosecutors say that's what an ex-bank manager told a guy she allegedly hired to kill her brother-in-law. I guess she thought her sister could do better for herself. Anyway, Reshma Massaron got 114 months in prison after pleading guilty to a murder for hire. U.S. Attorney Damian Williams says she came up with a chilling plan to have her brother-in-law knocked off for $10,000. She didn't know the hitman was an undercover cop. They say she was texting and exchanging messages on Facebook and telling the cop, you know, if you take care of this business, you'll get paid. Investigators say she told the cop, in fact, I got some other jobs for you. Goodness gracious, sister was mad at everybody. Well, they say she wired a down payment, $2,500, to the undercover cop, even video surveillance of her at a Western Union standing there counting the money. The victim was never killed. In addition to the jail time, she'll also get 3 years of supervised release. And I could probably say she can forget about being invited to the family reunion. On Long Island, police say they've shut down a gun-selling operation going on right under the police department's nose.
33-year-old James J. Sean Edwards is facing multiple felony charges for allegedly selling guns from his Long Beach, Long Island home.
This defendant's apartment is literally a stone's throw away from the Long Beach Police Department headquarters.
Nassau County District Attorney Ann Donnelly said 10 loaded guns were recovered, including an AR-15 style ghost weapon.
Brazenly, Edwards would package up high-powered weapons in duffel bags and even diaper boxes and sold them out in the open in broad daylight in front of his home.
2 of the guns have been traced to multiple shootings in Queens and Long Island dating back to 2021. Marla Diamond, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM in Mineola.
Also on this Wednesday night, finally, it's come down. A 15-year-old sidewalk shed finally removed at 520 First Avenue in Manhattan. The shed was taken down under the city's new Get Sheds Down initiative to get rid of some of these lifelong sheds that have dotted the city. Buildings Commissioner Jimmy Otto was out there at the deconstruction this morning.
We can't just talk the talk. The city has to walk the walk, and that means our own sheds that are up with no underlying work being done, that are up for years and years, they have to come down.
Yeah, that particular shed has apparently darkened the doorway of the office of the chief medical examiner for 15 years, according to the deputy mayor of operations, Mira Joshi. Get Sheds Down aims to improve the quality of life for New Yorkers and return valuable sidewalk space back to the public. So far, 268 sheds have come down, 14 of them owned by the city. AccuWeather says some clouds and a stray shower late tonight. We'll drop down to 69, and then tomorrow, mostly cloudy, breezy, much cooler and less humid. Yay! With a shower in the area, mainly to the south of here, and a high of 76. Right now, 90 degrees in Central Park. Winds news time 6:08. Okay, family, follow me on this next one. It is truly bizarre. There's an Indiana man accused of conspiring to poison his wife by allegedly putting drugs in her Coca-Cola. And they said he did it to kill her so he can then marry her daughter. He was sentenced the day after pleading guilty. Somebody said, well, wouldn't that have meant he was marrying his own daughter too? Well, no, apparently it was his stepdaughter. The scheme came to light when 71-year-old Alfred Ruff allegedly told his wife that he had been poisoning her, trying to get rid of her so he could marry her daughter. Well, duh. The wife kept getting sick. Doctors kept finding drugs in her system, and she kept telling them, I haven't taken any drugs. What are you talking about? Well, that's when they put 2 and 2 together, and after his alleged revelation, she called the police. And then this, they say the woman's daughter was in on it, allegedly telling Ruff, we should get Mom out of the picture, inherit her life insurance policy, get married, and go live happily ever after. We don't make this up, folks. Ruff gets 4 years in prison. So far, there's no word on what they're going to do with her daughter. Coming up on 1010 Wins. Flavor Flav says he had such a good time at the Olympics, he wants to do it again. Coming up, Flav has already put in his bid to be a torchbearer at the 2028 Olympics. And if that doesn't work out, somebody said, you think they could at least make him the official timekeeper? Flav, when we come back. Wins News Time, 6:09.
A Kings Island Gold Pass is your ticket to unlimited visits this year and all through 2025. Make the park your own with access to 2 years of tricks and treats, Halloween Haunt, and Winterfest. Plus an expanded Soak City featuring the all-new dual racing water coaster River Racers coming in 2025. All for our lowest price of the season. Just 10 payments of $9 after initial payment plus applicable taxes and fees. Hurry, price goes up September 3rd. Get your Gold Pass at visitkingsisland.com.
Get your laugh on with me, Chris Jericho, and the Talk is Jericho podcast. We've got Guns N' Roses Hall of Famer Duff McKagan and his joke of the week every Friday, plus regular visits from the hilarious Brad Williams and special appearances by everyone from Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias, Mark Maron, Dennis Miller, Cheech Marin, Kevin Nealon. If they're funny, they're on Talk is Jericho. So listen to and follow Talk is Jericho now on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Progressive presents 10 things on a food truck owner's to-do list that are harder than getting a commercial auto insurance quote. Stocking the fridge, prepping the stations, finding employees that get along well, finding employees that actually do their job. Looking at you, Gary. Balancing the books, balancing the flavors, having a fresh menu and fresh produce and fresh meat, but never a fresh mouth. But the easiest thing on a small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you can save on commercial auto insurance. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
I'm Tiffany, founder of Harlem Pilates. When I couldn't find Pilates in my neighborhood, I started a studio from my studio apartment. Chase Inc. helped me grow from 1 Pilates studio to 3. Because when you start small, you're going to need some big help.
With the Chase Inc. Business Cash Card, you can earn up to 5% cash back on business essentials, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank. N.A. member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Now this message, pilonidal disease is an inflammatory skin condition located near the tailbone. Visit pilofix.com. Wednesday News Time 610. Traffic, AccuWeather.
Hey, fantasy football owners, I'm Matt Harmon. And what's cracking? I'm James Coe. Join us on Reception Perception as we dive deep into wide receivers, the position that will make or break your fantasy team. Follow and listen to Reception Perception on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Wednesday, everybody, let's take it to the house. Thought the band was late there. Wednesday News Time 611 from your Mercedes-Benz of Edison.com Traffic Center. Expanded out now. Here's Andre Farrow.
Thank you, Larry. Let's go to the northbound Garden State Parkway, just north of the PNC Arts Center. You have a crash knocking out a lane over by exit 117, heading up towards the Driscoll Bridge. We have big delays on the northbound side of 287 over in Piscataway, and that westbound 78 deal over in Summit. We had an earlier vehicle fire. You still have some residual delays because of that. Now, if you're traveling in the northern suburbs of Westchester County, look out for that crash. It's still out there over by exit 117, or I should say Route 117, as you travel over in the Pleasantville area. That's been out there for quite some time. You have delays that go all the way back to Hawthorne, passing the Westchester County Medical Center. So go with the Sawmill if you can, or go with Route 9A and skate around that, because that's been out there for quite some time, and it looks like it's a very serious situation there. Now, the westbound side of 287 heading over by exit 4 is still seeing a lot of volume as well. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Inbound George, 20 minutes. The outbound side goes back to the Bronx River Parkway. Very slow in that northbound Harlem River Drive from the McCombs Dam Bridge up to the George. At least 25 out at the Lincoln and Holland. Inbound Lincoln, you need about 40 minutes. And the same deal with the inbound Holland, because 139 is stacked through Jersey City. So is the northbound Pulaski Skyway. Westbound Staten Island Expressway delays from Highland to Victory. This report was sponsored by Paramus Chevrolet. Together, let's drive at Paramus Chevrolet. Lease a new 2024 Chevy Equinox 4D wagon. It's just $297 a month for 36 months. It's a good deal. Buying? Well, enjoy 1.9% APR financing for well-qualified buyers. Visit ParamusChevrolet.com today. Next report at 6:21. Andre Farrow, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Thank you, Dre. And now your 1010 Wins AccuWeather 4-day forecast. Meteorologist Brian Thompson here with this live report.
Well, it's been a humid day, Larry, also pretty hot. Temperatures have gotten into the low and mid-90s, but we are going to see those temperatures start to drop now that we're heading closer to sunset. The humidity, though, is still pretty high through much of tonight. We also are going to have to watch for some thunderstorms that have developed off to our west toward the Poconos. A lot of these starting to slide closer to western parts of New Jersey. So, again, some spots will see a heavy thunderstorm into early tonight. There could be some strong gusty winds and some hail, but not everyone will see one. And some clouds at a stray shower late tonight, low 69. 69. Much cooler and less humid with clouds limiting sun tomorrow. Maybe a stray shower, high 76. Clouds and some sun for Friday, a high of 74. So still on the cool side. And then more clouds, more humidity on Saturday. An afternoon thunderstorm in spots, high 79. Mostly sunny and 90 right now in Midtown. We're going down to a low of 69 tonight. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson on New York's weather station. 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
Buffalo chips and Flavor Flav when we come back. Wins News Time, 6:14.
Our lives aren't like they used to be. They're busier. Early morning Zooms, grabbing coffee to make that in-office meeting, getting to your kid's soccer game on time. Life is different, and so is advertising. To reach any audience, you need your message out there in all media, broadcast to streaming, on screens, and right to the ears of your customers. And that's what we do at Odyssey. Let's build a media campaign that targets the customers you know and want to reach more of, right here in our community. Advertise with Odyssey. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Wednesday News Time, 6:15. An update now to a story we told you about earlier this week involving an escaped water buffalo roaming around an Iowa town. Well, police have now found the animal, said to be located in a wooded area in Des Moines. Saturday, the water buffalo wandered off from its pen in the Pleasant Hill suburb and became aggressive, making efforts to contain the animal pretty difficult and leading police officers to fire around it, too, from a shotgun to try to slow it down. Well, the animal did take the bullet, and after being located earlier today, it's now getting the treatment at an animal hospital. The Iowa Farm Sanctuary says the owner has now surrendered the animal, and it'll join their farm after treatment. He won't become a buffalo burger. Well, his presence was definitely felt at the Paris Olympics.
Yeah, boy!
And now Flavor Flav wants a repeat. Said today he's filed the paperwork now to become one of the Team USA's torchbearers at the 2028 games when they're held in L.A. Flav said on the Politicking podcast today that if Snoop Dogg got to do it in Paris, why can't he do it in L.A.? In Paris, Flavor Flav served as a hype man and official sponsor of the U.S. water polo Olympic teams. That's a natural progression. But it didn't stop there. He helped cover rent costs for a Team USA discus thrower. Remember that? That was pretty cool. And even offered to give gymnast Jordan Childs an oversized bedazzled bronze clock after she had her medal taken away on a technicality. Leave that alone, Mullins. You need this job. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Keep it moving. Pizza Hut has something for customers moving to select cities, and it's hidden in the packaging.
No one outpizza's the Hut.
Did you hear about this? They're offering a special pizza box that turns into a miniature table if you order a large regular price pizza. They're doing it in Dallas, Charlotte, and Orlando. The Hut says it chose those cities based off a Penske truck rental list that ranked those cities among the country's top moving destinations. Pizza Hut and its parent, Yum Brands, trying to boost its bottom line. You know what it is. The company's same-store sales dropped 3% in the second quarter, but Mickey D's, Starbucks, Burger King, and Wendy's, everybody reported less foot traffic, too. So they're all going through it right now, trying to make money. So the pizza box's corrugated structure folds into a base that can support the box. It's only available through carryout, by the way, and they're tying the promotion to the idea of ordering pizza after moving. Now, you know it's going to be folks out there ordering pizzas galore to get the table boxes, and you'll walk into their houses and all the furniture will be made out of Pizza Hut boxes. Don't sit over there. You get pizza pepperoni on your butt. We're back in a moment.
A Kings Island Gold Pass is your ticket to unlimited visits this year and all through 2025. Make the park your own with access to 2 years of tricks and treats, Halloween Haunt, and Winterfest. Plus an expanded Soak City featuring the all-new dual racing water coaster River Racers coming in 2025. All for our lowest price of the season. Just 10 payments of $9 after initial payment plus applicable taxes and fees. Hurry, price goes up September 3rd. Get your Gold Pass at visitkingsisland.com.
Baseball is in full swing. NBA playoffs are heating up, and your NFL team is gearing up for training camp. Listen to the latest on the teams you love here on the Odyssey app. The biggest sports radio stations in the country, providing unrivaled local coverage of their teams, all in one place. Exclusive interviews with players, coaches, and team executives, streaming live and always available on demand. Stay in the know with your favorite teams right here on the Odyssey app.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
1010 wins and 92.3, moving at the speed of New York.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
We will give you 89 degrees now. Still partly sunny out at 6:20. I'm Larry Mullins, and here's what's happening. We'll get more from the Weather Center on this hot, humid day, which could possibly be the last hot, humid day. We'll see. If the weather holds true, it will be like a brand new day tomorrow. A disturbing report tonight about hate crimes in the city. The state controller says it's getting worse than first thought. By the way, it's not just here either. We'll break down the numbers in a moment. An election worker up in the Bronx charged with working a scheme where she allegedly made some people pay her to work the polls and then split the money with friends who didn't show up for work. Gone in 60 seconds. Mayor Adams destroying 4 tons of seized cannabis product today as Operation Padlock shuts down more than 1,000 unlicensed pot shops. We'll have the latest. And SpaceX Falcon 9. That rocket has been grounded for a second time in 2 months now after the Fed says it wanted to review the wayward landing attempt that happened this morning. It wasn't pretty, folks. Wasn't pretty at all. AccuWeather says tonight cloudy skies, a stray shower or two, dropping down to a low of 69. Wins News Time 621. And from your Mercedes-Benz of Edison.com traffic center, expanded traffic now. And here's Andre Farrow.
And let's go to Queens, where we have huge delays on that eastbound LIE. Approaching the fairgrounds and 108th Street on the eastbound LIE, we have a disabled vehicle there. So now the delays are just getting more ridiculous all the way back to Maurice Avenue. Plus the Kosciuszko is also backing up on that eastbound BQE because of this. So really no relief in sight. It's going to be a big ride, a big delay as you travel on the eastbound side of the BQE from the Kosciuszko all the way up to Northern Boulevard as well as you approach Jackson Heights and the area of Woodside. Now, if you're using the east and westbound Grand Central Parkway over by LaGuardia, that is very slow. And then those delays really kick in westbound on the Grand Central Parkway from about Jewell Avenue up towards the area of the Flushing Meadows Park and heading over by the U.S. Open. If you're heading towards the tournament there, you're going to need some extra time for sure. I definitely suggest mass transit. If you're traveling on the eastbound and westbound side of the Belt Parkway between Flatbush and Pennsylvania Avenue, that's been a tough go of it. And then the eastbound side of the Southern State Parkway in Nassau County, right around Eagle Avenue, we had a brush fire going on off to the shoulder, but it is causing more delays because of that. It's not really blocking a lane, but you have police activity, you have fire department activity. You want to take it slow as you pass that situation there. Plus, we have westbounders going by as well, taking a peek at what's going on. So you have delays that go all the way back to the Meadowbrook Parkway and the westbound side of the Southern State Parkway as well. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Inbound George is a solid 25, about 30 out, 25 out of the Lincoln, and about 30 in at the Lincoln, 25 out of the Holland, and about 35 in at the Holland because 139 is stacked through Jersey City. You have big delays on the northbound side of the Pulaski Skyway. Westbound 78, that will be the Newark Bay Extension heading towards Newark Airport, seeing big volume there as well. Next report, 6:31. Andre Farrow, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
A new report by State Controller Tom DiNapoli shows hate crimes surging in New York City and beyond.
New York State logged nearly 1,100 hate crimes in 2023, a 69% jump from 2019 and double the number reported in 2020. The most common motivation, religion, with the bulk classified as anti-Semitic.
Really kind of reinforces and validates what people are feeling and perceiving in real life in real time.
Said Mark Traeger, a former Brooklyn City councilman, now CEO of the Jewish Community Relations Council of New York. Traeger said it's not new information, but it is validating.
But now the next step, Marla, is the hard work in the sense where what are policymakers going to do about this?
After Jewish New Yorkers, the next most targeted group were African Americans, followed by gay men. Marla Diamond, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
In other news on this Wednesday night, a Board of Elections worker up in the Bronx charged with bribery, extortion, fraud, and identity theft for allegedly telling people to pay her in exchange for selecting those individuals to work the polls. Nicole Torres indicted today after authorities say she worked a side hustle, fraudulently divvying up the money with no-show poll workers. Torres picked up yesterday and hauled in front of U.S. Magistrate Stuart Aaron. U.S. Attorney Damian Williams says Torres was an elected official and city worker who brazenly abused her power and lined her own pockets over 5 years. She was the Bronx district leader for the 81st Assembly, in charge of making sure poll workers got paid for their work. They say she was paying herself for their work. She'd get up to 20 years in prison for that. You hear about that rare orange lobster found in a tank at a Stop and Shop? It was about to be somebody's meal with a little drawn butter and a little garlic there and a little lemon. Stop it, Mullins. That is until animal welfare advocates stepped in.
Humane Long Island estimates 1 in 30 million lobsters are orange. Executive Director John DiLeonardo heard first from the Southampton Animal Shelter about an orange lobster that showed up at a Stop and Shop in town.
They wanted to make sure that this guy did not end up in someone's pot. So we reached out to Stop and Shop, and they immediately agreed to donate him to us so we could rehabilitate him and release him to the wild where he belongs in the first place.
Him is Clementine, by the way. This is a win for an animal that most of the time ends up on a plate, with tens of billions of lobsters killed each year. DiLeonardo says when someone goes vegan, they save nearly 200 animals every year. Mac Rosenberg, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
I told Mac to tell those people they could have sent him to me. I would have rehabilitated him, would have taken good care of him, gave him a nice sponge bath and some drawn butter, and stop it, Mullins. Wins News Time 626. Now Bloomberg Money Watch. Here's Joan Doniger.
It was all about NVIDIA on Wall Street today, and investors were nervous about the company's results. So the Dow fell 159, the Nasdaq 199, the S&P 35. What did happen? NVIDIA says it expects sales this quarter to go up, maybe by as much as 2%. But that's not as high as some of the most optimistic predictions, and that is feeding concern the company's explosive growth is fading. Now, last quarter's sales did come in better than Wall Street thought, but the focus on what will happen this quarter could tamp down the AI frenzy that has made NVIDIA the world's second most valuable company. Something else investors were waiting to see: CrowdStrike sales for the second quarter after that global IT outage last month, the one that resulted in Delta Airlines canceling thousands of flights for days. Well, CrowdStrike did see its second quarter sales beat Wall Street targets, but for the full year, they won't measure up. Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. I'm Joan Doniger for 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Now this message, RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together. Visit rwjbh.org.
A Kings Island Gold Pass is your ticket to unlimited visits this year and all through 2025. Make the park your own with access to 2 years of tricks and treats, Halloween Haunt, and Winterfest. Plus an expanded Soak City featuring the all-new dual racing water coaster River Racers coming in 2025. All for our lowest price of the season. Just 10 payments of $9 after initial payment plus applicable taxes and fees. Hurry, price goes up September 3rd. Get your Gold Pass at visitkingsisland.com.
Baseball is in full swing. NBA playoffs are heating up, and your NFL team is gearing up for training camp. Listen to the latest on the teams you love here on the Odyssey app. The biggest sports radio stations in the country, providing unrivaled local coverage of their teams, all in one place. Exclusive interviews with players, coaches, and team executives, streaming live and always available on demand. Stay in the know with your favorite teams right here on the Odyssey app.
OBGYN Associates has joined the TriHealth family to give you the very best in women's health care through every stage of your life. They've been serving women in this community for decades, and now, as part of the TriHealth family, they'll have access to Bethesda North Hospital, named one of the nation's best maternity hospitals by U.S. News and World Report. The best women's care in Cincinnati just keeps getting better. Learn more at trihealth.com/OBGYN Associates.
Retired or retiring soon? How much money do you need to live comfortably? Retirement Planners of America is here for you. Would you like to have financial peace of mind? Here's how. Step 1. Find out the amount of money you'll need to retire. Step 2. Have a plan to get there. Step 3. Make sure that plan can take advantage of market gains but protect you from market losses. Discover how to do all three with a free consultation at 800-508-6108. That's 800-508-6108.
All investments involve risk, including losses. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
10-10 winds, AccuWeather, some clouds and a stray shower late tonight. We'll get down to a low of 69 degrees. And then tomorrow, mostly cloudy, breezy, much cooler and less humid. Yay! Might get a little shower in the area. They're not making a big deal about it, so nor will I. That's mainly to the south of here anyway. We'll get to a high of 76 by day. And then Friday, we start the long Labor Day holiday weekend with clouds and some sun. We'll get to a high of 74. Hey, everybody, have a great evening, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow. Good evening. I'm Larry Mullins. When's news time at The Tone, 6:30.
Good evening. I'm Lori Madden. Illegal weed, a lot of it, goes up in smoke. And Mayor Adams was there to celebrate.
4 tons of illegal weed piled high.
You actually stand here and you can smell the cannabis that's here.
Mayor Adams at a Long Island waste management site ready to burn the contraband after a raid on 4,000 shops in New York City to shut down illegal locations, spearheaded by Sheriff Anthony Miranda, who says you don't know what you're smoking when you purchase from those stores.
Some locations have used roach spray or different other things, right? So people are not smoking cannabis when they're getting sick by this. What they are smoking is the chemicals.
1,000 shops have been shut down. Officials say legal requirements necessitate follow-up visits and paperwork. Juliette Papa, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Wins News Time, 6:31. Time for Expanded. Traffic and Transit Ears, Andre Farrow.
And we have a crash on the southbound on FDR. It's right by 79th Street. Delays go all the way back to the Triborough Bridge. If you're using the West Side Highway, we have delays in the northbound direction from about the 79th Street area up to about 135th Street. So it's starting to dissipate those delays. So maybe some better news ahead. If you're traveling at the outbound Holland and Lincoln, here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Those are at least 25 minutes each. Inbound's a little tougher because you have big delays eastbound on 495 approaching Palisades Avenue in the Helix, and then the ride on 139 through Jersey City is not fun. Not only eastbound but westbound is slow, and the northbound Pulaski Skyway heading up towards the Circle is seeing big action as well. Heading across the Newark Bay Extension, that is slow approaching Newark Airport. Interchange 13 southbound Turnpike is slow as well. If you're heading over by Staten Island, westbound Staten Island Expressway, looks like we have a disabled vehicle right around Richmond Road. That's going to slow you down right around Highland Boulevard. And then more delays approaching Victory Boulevard. Still working on a couple of things in Nassau County. Eastbound on the Southern State Parkway, right around Eagle Avenue, we had a brush fire situation there. Looks like it's resolved, but there are still some delays in the area. Southbound Cross Island Parkway is slow. Heading down towards Northern, I would go with the Clearview if you're using the Throgs Neck, entering Queens. Both the Throgs Neck and Whitestone Bridges still slow Queensbound. The Triborough is a bit heavy as well, heading towards the area of Steinway Street as you travel on the eastbound Grand Central Parkway. Looks like the crash in northern Westchester County has cleared over in Pleasantville, traveling northbound on the Taconic over by Route 117 near Pace University. Next report, we'll do that at 6:41. Andre Farrow, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Now the AccuWeather 4-day forecast. Here's meteorologist Brian Thompson.
Well, Lori, we do have a few showers and some thunderstorms right now across parts of northeastern Pennsylvania around the Poconos. Starting to see a couple of those showers drift on over into far western parts of New Jersey. And there will be a heavy thunderstorm in some spots into early tonight. Could be some strong gusty winds and some hail with any storm. Otherwise, so we'll have some clouds and a stray shower late tonight. Low temperature around 69. Now, after such a hot and humid day today, we're going to see temperatures really tumble heading into tomorrow. It's going to be a much cooler and less humid day. Will be breezy with clouds limiting sunshine, maybe a stray shower, especially the farther south and west you go away from the city. High 76 tomorrow. And still, even into Friday, we'll have clouds and some sun. It's going to be kind of a cool day for late August, high 74. Now, the humidity will be on the rise into Saturday. It will become rather cloudy with an afternoon thunderstorm in spots, high 79, and we'll see some more numerous showers and storms into Saturday night. Right now, mostly sunny. We're at 90 degrees still at Midtown, and we're heading down to a low of 69 tonight. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson on New York's weather station, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
What did you do this summer? Some New York City school kids have a lot to talk about after volunteering in Central America.
The students of Global Kids were given 2 weeks and a paintbrush to do meaningful work. The community service-based organization took the teens to Costa Rica to milk cows, make cheese, and paint classrooms. 15-year-old Sean had this to say.
The classrooms were quite small, but we did what we had to do in the classrooms, and I hope the students do appreciate what we did for the schools.
There were only about 50 students in that school, and 17-year-old Jalissa says the state of that school made her appreciate life at home.
Seeing their classrooms and everything, it made me more grateful for my school in the U.S.
Sean felt the same.
Knowing how fortunate I am to have the certain opportunities I have in America, it's very different. So I'm more appreciative.
Amanda Alexander, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
Liftoff was picture perfect.
3, 2, 1, mission.
But the landing was a problem. SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket has been grounded for the second time in 2 months after federal regulators said they wanted to review a botched landing attempt this morning. That makes the rocket unable to fly, with 2 key human spaceflight missions looming. This morning's incident involved the first stage of a Falcon 9 rocket, which failed to land upright on a platform at sea, but the overall mission appeared to go fine. No hitches when the rocket delivered Starlink satellites into orbit. Winds News Time 6:35. Arlington National Cemetery officials confirm that there was an incident during a visit by Donald Trump and his campaign staffers, and that a report has been filed. A statement said federal law prohibits political campaign or election-related activities within Army National Military cemeteries.
The Harris campaign is reacting to the news of this incident at Arlington National Cemetery. NPR reports that 2 Trump campaign officials engaged in a verbal and physical altercation with a cemetery staff member during Trump's visit, after the officials were asked not to take photos and videos in Section 60, where recent U.S. veterans are buried. The Trump campaign says there was no physical altercation. The Harris campaign called it an episode and said it was, quote, pretty sad. A spokesman saying, quote, Donald Trump is a person who wants to make everything all about Donald Trump. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
Winds News Time 6:36. The Lord of the Rings spin-off returns. 1010 Winds.
A Kings Island Gold Pass is your ticket to unlimited visits this year and all through 2025. Make the park your own with access to 2 years of tricks and treats, Halloween Haunt, and Winterfest. Plus an expanded Soak City featuring the all-new dual racing water coaster River Racers coming in 2025. All for our lowest price of the season. Just 10 payments of $9 after initial payment plus applicable taxes and fees. Hurry, price goes up September 3rd. Get your Gold Pass at visitkingsisland.com.
Baseball season is heating up. Odyssey has you covered with the most entertaining coverage of your team. Stay locked in and in the know with the voices you trust. Stream your favorite shows for free on the Odyssey app, Odyssey.com, or on your smart speaker.
What's wrong? My travel rewards card didn't earn enough miles for my vacation.
Are you crying? Are you crying because of that other credit card?
Uh-huh.
Well, switch to the Capital One Venture Card. Venture lets you redeem miles on any travel purchase.
Really?
Yep, and you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every single day. The Capital One Venture Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Our Labor Day savings start now at Lowe's.
Right now, buy one, get one free on Valspar Reserve or HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Infinity or Showcase Interior Paint via Lowe's gift card rebate. Whether you're painting one accent wall or want to freshen up a whole room, we've got you covered. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details. Valid through 9/4.
Wednesday's time, 6:38. From the 1010 Wins Entertainment Tonight newsroom, here's Kevin Frazier.
After a 2-year hiatus, The Lord of the Rings of Power is back for a second season. It will delve deeper into the lore of Middle-earth with the looming threat of Sauron front and center. It streams tomorrow on Prime Video. 3-time Oscar-nominated actress Sigourney Weaver received the Golden Lion for Lifetime Achievement at this year's Venice Film Festival. Weaver received the honor for her work in films like Aliens, Working Girl, and Gorillas in the Mist. Amateur Night at the Apollo is happening tonight in Harlem. The Classic Talent Competition has launched the careers of countless legendary artists. Find out more at apollotheater.org. And we'll have all the latest celebrity news tonight, 7:30 on CBS 2. This report brought to you by Progressive Insurance, offering auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business options. Visit Progressive.com today. From the most trusted names in entertainment and news, ET and 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM, I'm Kevin Frazier.
Hey, fantasy football fans, this is Zach from Upper Hand Fantasy. You don't want an embarrassing tattoo just because you lost a bet in your fantasy football league, right? If you do, I suggest a mermaid holding a football, but let's avoid that altogether. Braz and I are here to get you ready for your fantasy football drafts with insights and advice. From sleepers to busts, we've got you covered to give you the upper hand on your friends. Start your fantasy football prep now. Join us and stay ahead of the competition. Follow and listen to Upper Hand Fantasy on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Ah, summer is here. Time for video calls, eating lunch at your desk, and navigating office politics.
Wait, that's not what summer's for.
But my inbox is full.
Inbox schminbox. Life is short. Summer is for getting away. Bring on the beach, the national parks, the music festivals. We gotta get out of here.
This summer, get away from the monotony in the Hyundai you've always wanted. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event is going on right now. You can get the hottest deals of the season on many of our award-winning Hyundai models, like the tech-filled Tucson, the spacious Palisade, or the super stylish Elantra. Ignore those meeting invites and get away with the peace of mind that comes with America's best warranty. But get going, because these deals won't last. Add more joy to your journey at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Lease an all-wheel drive Tucson for $229 a month, or get 1.99% APR, or up to $1,250 bonus cash. Hurry into the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Offers end September 3rd. Call 661-615-2112 for details.
1010 Wins is now on TuneIn.
The Newswatch never stops. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good evening. 90 degrees at 6:40. I'm Lori Metten, and here's what's happening. Temperatures hit 94 degrees at JFK in Newark today. We have a heat advisory in effect, and we still have the chance of a strong thunderstorm or two. We'll get a live update in a moment from AccuWeather's Brian Thompson. What was the city's longest-standing scaffolding, up for 15 years, is finally taken down, with more sidewalk sheds targeted for dismantling. The recent terror attacks in Europe have the NYPD concerned about copycat incidents here. A family vacation in Denmark turned tragic after 2 children die while being buried in sand at a beach. Hi, Barbie. Something you can say in a new hot pink Barbie flip phone. On Wall Street, the Dow closed down 159 points today. The Nasdaq was off 198. In sports tonight, Yankees at the Nationals, Mets are in Arizona. Wins News Time 6:41. Time for expanded traffic and transit from the Mercedes-Benz of Edison.com Traffic Center. Here's Andre Farrow.
And we're still working on this crash. Southbound FDR heading down towards 79th Street. You have delays that go all the way back to the Triborough Bridge. West Side Highway would be better if you're traveling southbound. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Outbound Lincoln, outbound Holland, at least 20 minutes on both. If you're using the inbound Holland Tunnel, wow, the delays over by the Pulaski Skyway northbound are terrible. Over by Tunnelly Avenue Circle, and then eastbound 139, even westbound 139, very slow through Jersey City. You have big delays on Tunnelly Avenue, approaching Manhattan Avenue and heading northbound as you approach Secaucus Road. And then more delays on the eastbound side of 495 in Weehawken. Trying to get to the Helix is going to be a tough task. Now, if you're traveling inbound George, things are improving. About a 15-minute delay. So we're seeing the light of day now. If you're traveling westbound on the Cross Bronx, not so fast. From the Bronx River Parkway all the way to the Alex, bumper to bumper. Northbound Harlem River Drive delays are severe from the Macomb Dam Bridge up to the George. Now, if you're traveling on westbound 78 in New Jersey, just west of Route 24 over by Berkeley Heights, that's a huge delay. Plus, we also have delays on the northbound side of the Garden State Parkway over in Irvington. Still working on a disabled vehicle northbound on the Garden State right by the PNC Art Center over by exit 117. Westbound Staten Island Expressway delays approaching Victory Boulevard are still out there. Next report, 6:51. Andre Ferro, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
Yeah, today's been a hot one, but it's not going to last. For the very latest, let's check in with AccuWeather's Brian Thompson. Brian.
Yeah, Lori, just a one-day surge of heat and humidity today, and temperatures did get up to between 90 and 95 in most places, and real field temps even closer to 100 earlier with the high humidity. It's going to stay humid and early tonight. Now, we are going to have a couple of thunderstorms around. There's a few storms trying to sneak into western parts of New Jersey right now. And this is with a cold front approaching from the north, and that's going to move through again with perhaps a couple of heavier storms this evening. And then once that front is through, it's going to be a much cooler day tomorrow, about 15 or 20 degrees. The humidity will be lower too, so high temperatures back into the mid-70s tomorrow and Friday. Lori?
Well, that sounds a lot better. Thank you, Brian. He will keep us up to date on the weather tonight. And while you may have been thinking about ice cream on a day like this, one intrepid vendor in Central Park was selling heavier fare.
On a steamy day like today, talk about a hot pastrami. At the Deli and Dogs truck here, I caught up with Mohammed. He's ready for a very long and difficult day.
Deli and Dog, the pastrami truck.
Deli and Dog pastrami. All right, now, so the same thing? So it could be like 110 in your truck?
Mine is harder because I have a steam box inside. I have a grill.
A steam box?
Yeah, steam box because of how we cook the meat was steaming. So when you open the steam box, it's like...
Yeah, if I open the steam box, I'd go home, I think. You know?
Yeah, it's like...
How long can you stay in there doing that? I mean,
if it's busy, I have no choice.
The city feeling like a steam box today, but it'll get better tomorrow. Glenn Schuck, 1010 wins, 92.3 FM, here by Central Park.
Wins News Time, 6:44. Is there a sidewalk shed or scaffolding in your neighborhood that seems like it's been up forever? However long it's been up, it hasn't been there as long as the one that was outside of the New York City Medical Examiner's office in Manhattan.
This shed in particular was up for 15 years. There is no reason for any shed in New York City to be up for 15 years. And the reason why it's down today is because of leadership.
Buildings Commissioner Jimmy Otto was on hand as what was believed to be the longest standing shed at a city-owned building at First Avenue and 30th Street, that's the ME's office, was finally dismantled. The city's Get Sheds Down program is aiming to do just that. If you think one is still up and it shouldn't be, you can call 311. Wins News Time, 6:45. A North Belmore teenager is facing charges of trying to flee a crash that seriously injured a man in North Babylon, Long Island. It happened last night on Skidmore Road near Lloyd Avenue. Suffolk County Police say 18-year-old Marianne Marchian was behind the wheel of a 2023 Mercedes-Benz C30 when she hit a utility pole, causing it to snap and fall. A man who was in a nearby car rushed over to help her, but police say she put her car in reverse and hit him, pinning him against his own vehicle. She then allegedly tried to flee the scene, but another person threw a brick at her car, shattering her windshield. She stopped. She was later arrested. A Long Beach, Long Island man accused of selling illegal guns apparently made it easy for cops. They were in eyesight.
Nassau District Attorney Ann Donnelly said 33-year-old James J. Sean Edwards was brazenly selling high-powered weapons out in front of his apartment building right near the Long Beach Police Department.
You can literally see the building from the row of apartments where this defendant lives. But luckily, our Long Beach police officers saw him too.
Two of the weapons were traced to shootings in Queens and Nassau. Fernando Guimares, the commanding officer of the NYPD's Intelligence Division, said 15 firearms were recovered.
Two of them being ghost guns, no serial numbers, no way of seeing where those firearms initiated from.
Investigators are still trying to figure out where Edwards got the guns. Marla Diamond, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM in Mineola.
Wins News Time, 6:46.
Get your laugh.
A Kings Island Gold Pass is your ticket to unlimited visits this year and all through 2025. Make the park your own with access to 2 years of tricks and treats, Halloween Haunt, and Winterfest. Plus an expanded Soak City featuring the all-new dual racing water coaster River Racers coming in 2025. All for our lowest price of the season. Just 10 payments of $9 after initial payment plus applicable taxes and fees. Hurry, price goes up September 3rd. Get your Gold Pass at visitkingsisland.com.
Hey, fantasy football owners, I'm Matt Harmon. And what's cracking? I'm James Coe. Join us on Reception Perception as we dive deep into wide receivers, the position that will make or break your fantasy team. Follow and listen to Reception Perception on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Now this message. Susan Richard here with Michael Barish of Barish and McGarry, lawyers for the 9/11 community. Michael, why is this so personal for you and your team?
So many people in my office are the children of deceased firefighters and cops. So many of the people in my office have sicknesses that have been related to the toxic dust, including me. I'm a prostate cancer and skin cancer survivor. We take it personally, and we want to make sure that everyone accesses what they're entitled to.
Michael, you yourself received a tremendous award, which you then donated to help others.
The American Cancer Society and Hope Lodge, they do a wonderful job taking care of cancer patients. The Hope Lodge provides free housing and transportation to patients who are going for chemotherapy at many of the hospitals in the New York area. And these people can stay for months at no charge.
Contact Barish and McGarry at 911awards.com. That's 911awards with an S.com. Barish and McGarry, lawyers for the 9/11 community.
Wins News Time 6:49. Recent terror attacks in Europe are on the radar of the NYPD.
Rebecca Weiner describes the assessment as an update to their law enforcement partners in The Shield, an organization that includes the public and private sector around the world.
We constantly adjust based on what we're seeing overseas.
The terror-related stabbings in Germany, the arson outside a synagogue in France, the threat to the Taylor Swift concerts in Austria contribute to an elevated threat environment.
There's so much animus and so much polarization directed at a wide range of people.
She notes a trend of young people becoming radicalized and lone actors carrying out violence. Juliet Papa, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
A family holiday in Denmark turned tragic for a German family. Authorities say 2 children who were buried in the sand at a beach died when the dune collapsed. The 9 and 12-year-old boys were pulled out by emergency responders. After being buried for about 40 minutes, they were medevaced to a hospital in critical condition, but later died. Wins News Time, 6:50. If you work or live in a high-rise, you may soon be getting acquainted with Osmo the robot, who you might see cleaning your windows.
Rather than putting human beings in the scaffolding, we're actually placing robotic arms full with a suite of cameras and sensors, including optical cameras, LiDAR cameras, ultrasonic cameras, as well as distance sensors and ways to track essentially the information of the system.
Ross Blum, COO of Skyline Robotics, says Osmo is outfitted with AI and is currently doing the windows at a building near Times Square on 6th Avenue and 44th Street. The boxes of Legos you buy in the future will be greener. The toy maker says it's on track to replace the oil used in the brick pieces with renewable and recycled plastic by 2032. The CEO says while there will be a significant cost in production, that cost will not be passed on to you. Wins News Time, 6:51. Time for expanded traffic, including the Hatfield Transit Desk. Here's Andre Farrow.
Now, we still have big delays on the westbound side of 78 over in Springfield, New Jersey. Bumper-to-bumper action between Route 24 and Berkeley Heights as you travel westbound. The northbound Garden State Parkway, still working on that crash over by the PNC Arts Center. Then there's more delays heading up towards South Amboy as you approach the Driscoll Bridge. Westbound Staten Island Expressway is slow. Victory Boulevard area. Heading over the Goethals Bridge, we have a disabled vehicle heading towards Staten Island. So here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. I would go with the outer bridge instead if that works for you. Verrazano is in decent shape. Outbound Lincoln and Holland, you're still about 20 to 25 minutes. Inbound Holland is no good. It's going to be slow because of the Pulaski Skyway delays as you approach Tunnelly Avenue. And then there's more delays over by 495 eastbound through Weehawken heading towards the Helix. Big delays as you travel up by the Eastern Spur heading up towards the Vince Lombardi and passing Route 46 as well. Inbound George is about 15 minutes. It has shown improvements. Westbound Cross Bronx delays start at the Bronx River Parkway, heading away from the Triborough and dealing with the delays on the Bruckner heading towards the Hunts Point Drawbridge. Triborough is probably the slowest of the three entering Queens. The Whitestone seems to be the best, and the Throgs Neck still seeing some volume on the Bronx side. Now, if you're traveling northbound Hutch, Wolf's Lane up to the Cross County, the usual suspect there. Traveling on the northbound side in Connecticut on the Connecticut Turnpike from Greenwich up to Stamford, so from 3 to 5, you're dealing with big delays there. The delays on the northbound side of the Sprain heading up towards the Taconic have eased over in Pleasantville, where we had a really bad earlier crash. This report is sponsored by the Upper East Side Rehabilitation and Nursing Center. Next update 7:01. Andre Ferro, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
Secret 4-day forecast. Here's meteorologist Brian Thompson.
Lori, starting to see a couple of thunderstorms across parts of North Jersey. One right now, one just popped up just to the north of Parsippany along I-287, and there's a few more as you get farther west out toward the Delaware River and across northeast Pennsylvania. We've had some storms too that are moving off toward the south and east. So some spots will see a heavy thunderstorm early tonight with some gusty winds, potentially some hail and some heavy downpours. Otherwise, we'll be humid throughout the night with some clouds, maybe a stray shower left over late. Low 69 degrees, mostly cloudy, breezy, much cooler and less humid tomorrow with a shower in spots mainly to the south and west of the city. High temperature tomorrow around 76. So a big change tomorrow. Friday will be even a little bit cooler, a high of 74 with clouds and some sun before the humidity comes back up again. Saturday, any sun early will start to give way to more clouds. The risk for an afternoon thunderstorm, a high of 79. And we do expect more numerous showers and storms into Saturday night. Right now, 90 degrees. It's mostly sunny in Midtown. We're going down to a low of 69. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson on New York's weather station. 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
Winds News Time 6:54. The latest Barbie doll pays tribute to legendary Mexican singer, songwriter, and actor Juan Gabriel ahead of Hispanic Heritage Month. The doll is outfitted with a glittering bolero jacket based on the outfit Gabriel wore during an iconic performance in Mexico City more than 30 years ago. The doll went on sale today at major retailers. Speaking of Barbie, did you have a Barbie phone when you were a kid?
Barbie talking play phone is so much fun. We should.
This Barbie phone is not just for play. Nokia is launching a working Barbie phone. Right now it's only available in the UK, but there are plans to bring it to the US. May not be for everyone, though. It's a flip phone. Doesn't have internet access, although you can make calls and texts.
A Kings Island Gold Pass is your ticket to unlimited visits this year and all through 2025. Make the park your own with access to 2 years of tricks and treats, Halloween Haunt, and Winterfest. Plus an expanded Soak City featuring the all-new dual racing water coaster River Racers coming in 2025. All for our lowest price of the season. Just 10 payments of $9 after initial payment plus applicable taxes and fees. Hurry, price of September Gold Pass at thekingsisland.com.
Baseball season is heating up. Odyssey has you covered with the most entertaining coverage of your team. Stay locked in the know with the local voices you trust. Stream your favorite shows for free on the Odyssey app, Odyssey.com, or on your smart speaker.
Now, Bloomberg Money Watch, here's Joan Doniger.
It has been called the most important stock on planet Earth by Goldman Sachs. Today, Nvidia may have lived up to its reputation. Wall Street had sky-high expectations for Nvidia's second quarter earnings report, but investors worried so much about it, they sent the stock averages a third to more than 1% lower. The Dow fell 159, the Nasdaq 199, the S&P 34, and now there's disappointment because while the AI chip maker is expecting sales growth this quarter, that did come in higher than the average prediction. Investors were hoping for the cherry on top. More growth. Nvidia is making a lot of money. Big Lots is looking at filing for bankruptcy because of years of falling sales. The discount retailer also looking for new lenders to help it stabilize its finances so it could possibly avoid Chapter 11. And Foot Locker is slamming shut its headquarters in the city. It plans to move to St. Petersburg, Florida next year, citing cost efficiencies. It says it will keep a foot in Manhattan. Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. I'm Joan Doniger for 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Wins News Time 6:57.
Fantasy freaks and geeks, what's cracking? It's your boy James Coe, back with my brand new project, the Sleeper King Football Podcast. Look, I get it, okay? There's a lot of fantasy pods out there, but we're going to keep this one light, 15 to 20 minutes, 4 to 5 times a week, and man, we are going to pack it with all the info you need. Season long, weekly projections, and of course, sleepers. Follow and listen to the Sleeper King Football Podcast on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Personal injury attorney Dan Buttafuoco of Buttafuoco & Associates. When I was a child, I experienced several injustices. This sparked a passion in me to fight for people. You never know when you're going to need a personal injury attorney. I've seen situations in which a second changed a person's entire life. When you come to Buttafuoco & Associates, you don't just get a single attorney. You get a team of professionals who will stand beside you and do everything possible to get you to the finish line so that you could move on with your life. When I'm in court, I think back to the injustices I've experienced as a child, and it makes me want to fight even more aggressively for you. At Buttafuoco & Associates, we will stop at nothing to get you the best possible outcome. Choosing a personal injury attorney is not a decision that you should make lightly. You should find someone who's highly recommended and go with someone that has a proven track record. Call us today at 1-800-NOW-HURT. That's 1-800-669-4878. 1-800-NOW-HURT. Or online at 1-800-NOW-HURT.
Hey fantasy football fans, this is Zach from Upper Hand Fantasy. You don't want an embarrassing tattoo just because you lost a bet in your fantasy football league, right? If you do, I suggest a mermaid holding a football, but let's avoid that altogether. Braz and I are here to get you ready for your fantasy football drafts with insights and advice. From sleepers to busts, we've got you covered to give you the upper hand on your friends. Start your fantasy football prep now. Join us and stay ahead of the competition. Follow and listen to Upper Hand Fantasy on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
WINS-FM and HD1 New York. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
1010 Winds AccuWeather says we have a heat advisory in effect through 8 o'clock tonight in most of our area. We may see a thunderstorm or two pop up early this evening. Otherwise, things will clear out late. Low 69. Big difference tomorrow. Cloudy, breezy, much cooler, less humid. Might see a shower south of the city. High 76. Right now it is 90 degrees. We're going down to 69. More people get their news from 1010 Winds than from any other radio station in the nation. John Davis is our service aide. Swatina Kakar is at the editor's desk. I'm Lori Madden.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Winds at 92.3 FM, New York.
Mostly sunny, 90 degrees, still at 7 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Lane Fajardi. Here's what's happening. Hot in the city today, but there is relief on the way after what could be some rough storms moving through. The latest from AccuWeather just ahead. Overseas terror concerns canceled some Taylor Swift concerts. As for worries here, we'll hear from the NYPD's head of counterterrorism. New information today from the FBI about the shooter that killed one and wounded former President Trump. The vice presidential candidates on the campaign trail with starkly different messages today. It was headed for a pot full of boiling water, but now an extremely rare bright orange lobster gets a new lease on life on Long Island. Sports, Yankees are in Washington. The Mets play late in Arizona. Humid into early tonight with a heavy thunderstorm in spots. Any of them can produce strong, gusty winds and hail. We'll get more details from AccuWeather just ahead. Winds News Time, 7:01. Traffic and transit first. Here is Andre Farrow.
And here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. The Goethals Bridge heading towards Staten Island. We have a disabled vehicle knocking out the left lane and delays our bumper to bumper. So you might want to go over the outer bridge instead if that works for you. There are westbound Staten Island Expressway delays approaching Victory Boulevard. If you're traveling over by the westbound side of 78 over in Berkeley Heights, we have big delays that go back to Route 24. That's been out there for quite some time, that delay. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. I already mentioned that, but the Holland and Lincoln tunnels heading out of New York City right now, at least 20 minutes on both. But the inbound side is actually worse, especially 495 inbound over by Weehawken and heading towards Palisades Avenue. You have delays there and then around the Helix, and then the eastbound and even westbound 139 ride in Jersey City has been brutal. Southbound FDR delays still out there, making your way down towards 79th Street. Inbound George is about a 20-minute delay. The outbound delays go back to the Bronx River Parkway. Heading away from the Triborough on the eastbound Bruckner heading towards the Hunts Point Drawbridge is also slow. slow. The Triborough remains very busy entering Queens over by Steinway Street. And then more delays eastbound, westbound on the ride in front of LaGuardia Airport from basically Citi Field to 82nd Street. And you have delays on the Whitestone Queens bound. I would go with the southbound Clearview over the southbound Cross Island Parkway. Seeing westbound buildups in Nassau County trying to get back to the Queens border as you travel on the northern and LIE passing New Hyde Park Road. And even the west and eastbound Southern State Parkway between Eagle Avenue and the Meadowbrook is seeing a lot of volume. Next report, 7-Eleven. Andre Ferro, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
We've been dealing with true late August weather today. The heat advisory running through 8 o'clock, and there's some concern about thunderstorms. So let's check in live with AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson.
Yeah, Lane, we have a cold front approaching from the north, running into this hot and humid air mass. We have some thunderstorms that have developed out toward the Poconos. Some of those now starting to move into western parts of New Jersey. And we've had a couple of storms fire up a little farther east, too, across North Jersey. But not everybody's going to see a thunderstorm into early tonight. But the storms that are around could produce some gusty winds and some hail. And then once this front is through, a big change by tomorrow. High temperatures only in the mid-70s. Lane?
All right, Brian, we hit 94 on the thermometers today at Newark and JFK. The good news is that we're not looking at the start of a heat wave here.
Well, again, it looks like it's 90s today and gone tomorrow. In fact, the extended forecast don't see any 90s, at least for a while. Maybe it won't be till next year. Patrick McIntosh is saying he doesn't care either way.
Complaining about that. The people complaining about the hot are going to be complaining about the cold. Same thing. So.
But you're not a complainer, apparently.
No. Bring it on.
He's working in a ventilation system where the temperatures can reach 100 degrees during the day.
So I've worked in places before that'll be the same as outside plus another 10 degrees. So, some of the guys, they feel it.
How do you get through that? I mean, I know water, obviously, right?
Yeah, water and, you just got to kind of keep moving around. We're always in and out of the rooms, checking on units throughout the building and stuff, so.
In the midst of this, it's hard to believe the calendar's turning to September soon. Glenn Schuck, 1010 wins, 92.3 FM. Here are 56 and 5th.
It is indeed. Wins News Time 7:04. The NYPD's Deputy Commissioner of Intel and Counterterrorism says recent terror attacks and plots discovered overseas have raised some red flags.
Rebecca Weiner is the Deputy Commissioner of Intelligence and Counterterrorism for the NYPD. The report is an assessment distributed to private security and overseas law enforcement agencies. This one in light of recent attacks in Europe, in Germany, France, and the threat to the Taylor Swift concerts. The events indicate a troubling trend.
We've seen younger and younger individuals who are radicalizing and mobilizing toward violence by, I might add, and this is important, a wide range of ideologies.
She says there are always concerns with lone actors, but intelligence and advanced protections are put in place